Hi, and welcome to Forged by Geeks unboxing Orcs Must Die, the board game. For those of you who don't know, kind of a fan of tower defense games over here, the whole defense grid thing. But Orcs Must Die, the original video game, really loved. Got talking with one of our distribution partners that we're working with for Defense Grid, and they happened to have a spare copy of Orcs Must Die that got a little damaged in shipment. So he asked if I'd be willing to check it out and possibly do a couple of streams related to it, maybe a session video and some other stuff. So I figured, as part of checking it out, I would start out by actually unboxing the game. So I've got an unopened copy of the board game. It's a little damaged in one corner of the box, so I don't know if that'll affect any parts. If I think it has, I'll be sure to point that out as I go through the box. I had to tear one of the corners of the box just to enable me to open it, so we'll see how it goes from there. But I want to stress, this was given to me for free, so sponsorship, all that kind of stuff, however you want to view it, take that as you will. But proceeding on, oh, and I am live streaming, so we might get somebody here going, hey, yeah, we got another person watching, but this is just for an unboxing, so you might see some random chatter in the upper right corner. I'll try to pay attention and answer some questions if any pop up. So, this is Orcs Must Die. It's a tower defense board game, coordination between Robot Entertainment, the creators of the video game, as well as PG. So, really kind of interested to see what they do. It's supposed to have a ton of minis and a bunch of other stuff involved. Oh, yeah, kind of miss us sometimes here and there. Okay, so opening this up, it looks like first thing is, it looks like we've got some stickers here. Don't quite know what those are for, or what is this? It looks like it's actually just a picture. Oh, it looks like it's just actually a picture of how you lay out the minis inside of the box. That's kind of how I'm viewing this right now. We'll find out as we get a little bit deeper into it if that holds true. Got our manual right here. So pretty basic manual, a little thicker than I'm usually used to. You can definitely see it right there. Opening it up, nice quality print on this. Love some of the art in it. 59 pages, but it looks to be about 55 of actual content. Really, really high quality manual. I'm actually really impressed with the quality on this. And this appears to be the main actual manual going on. Oh, a separate map booklet. I find that kind of amusing because this is something similar to what we're doing with Defense Grid. We separated out our maps from the main manual, and somewhat similar to what we're looking at, they have kind of the layouts for how you do the maps in the manual. So that's really interesting to me. Also, fairly high quality. Doesn't feel quite as nice as the other one. I think that has to do with the hinge. So this has more of a flat hinge, whereas this one has more of the standard stapled point hinge. Next up, it looks like these are our character boards. I'd seen these online ahead of time, but they looked fairly basic. They look smaller, funny enough. In the pictures I had seen, they looked a lot smaller. This is really big. They're just a really thick cardstock if you look at it. It doesn't look like anything too impressive on that, so they're not like, this might technically be a chipboard, but at most it's a really thin one. But once again, pretty high quality printing. They would have to have done a separate die cut on these in order to pull this off, so a little bit of extra money. I can appreciate that dealing with some of this. In addition to the player boards, we've got 4 player boards here. There also appears to be some other tracking board. Looks like it might be for tracking the various enemies. So we'll have to see what that is when I actually get into playing the game. Next up, weird. So I wouldn't have expected this. This is a separate die cut for this other board. You might notice it's slightly larger. Don't know why they chose to do that, but this appears to be, oh, Rift health. So if you've played the video game, you know that's how much health you have left on your Rift and what you're trying to protect in the game. Interesting that you start at different amounts of Rift health based on the player count. I don't know what these gems are for yet. And then you have active traps and active items. So that probably has to do with the traps that you've set up in the game or what you're able to actually utilize in a given game session. Next, we've got just a nice little die cut sheet for some chipboard tokens. I imagine these feel like they're where you killed stuff. Possibly some heal circles, boss maybe. Double-sided. Looks like there's only one of these tokens are different on the art. So you've got the kind of red side there and more of the purple black side there. So interested to see what that ends up being. And now the fun part. So these minis look stunning in the Kickstarter, I have to say. Oh, level of gears, traps, and monsters for the gems. Awesome, thank you for clarifying that. So here we've got a little interest on why they didn't make the bases different, but really nice. Oh man, these are multi-part. Oh wow, these were not cheap minis to make. So one of the things I've learned with making miniatures myself is if you see these joints here going into the corner, it's a little hard to see. Sorry for a little bit of extra blur on the screen, but there's joints on the shoulders that you don't see with a lot of minis. That's because those were attach points. These minis were not able to be made in just one mold. They had to produce them. This looks to be about 3 or 4 pieces glued together when it actually went into final manufacturing. So these are really high quality overall and were not cheap to put together. They also have this nice little plastic insert holding all of them. We're planning something similar for Defense Grid, the board game. It's kind of required whenever you have some of these more pointy pieces sticking off. Otherwise, you're looking at having your miniatures get damaged in shipment, which we really want to avoid. Now, looking at this, most of these look like enemies. I would bet, just taking a peek, these are probably player characters. Yeah, these are most likely the player characters. There's 2 there, so I'm betting we've got another insert in here somewhere. So I will pull this out and set that aside. Oh, wow. Holy crap, those are big. Yeah, so yeah, we've got another mini right here you can see. This looks like, oh, let me take my thumb out of the way. It looks like we've got a little bit of a wizard mini going on. Once again, pretty good detail. They did the insert stand, not my favorite design for making a stand, but it does help with manufacturing. If I was more of a painter, funny person, I might actually like put some extra terrain on these just to spice them up a little bit. But overall, really good feel. They're really solid plastic. I'm not feeling like I'm going to break these at all. And once again, nice little solid insert. They actually click in. That might not be clear here, but it's actually clicking into that base. So they're not going to move around at all if this box happens to flip upside down when you're in shipping and all that kind of stuff. Oh, so these they went a little bit looser with. So this is just a whole bunch more of the larger monsters. Let's crack that open. Oh, they gave a nice little Ziploc bag here. So you can open it up and repackage them and reseal them up. Many of these minis appear to be the larger ones. Once again, I can see the joints, so these were all multi-piece. So like this guy, for example, the arms were probably separate pieces. The club was probably a separate piece, and the upper body was a separate piece from the lower body. And these are amazing detail. Just absolutely stunning detail here. I am really impressed. They got a really good sculptor on these, or they used really good 3D rendering in order to produce the pieces. Oh wow, yeah, so very impressed there. Looks like a whole bunch more. Can't quite count them all right now. Next up, we've got the dice. Looks like they only use silkscreen. That's a little bit disappointing. I'm a huge fan of engraved dice myself, though to be fair, we almost went silkscreen with ours. So let's pull these out. Silkscreen's a lot cheaper if you need to make a lot of different dice, which is what I think we're looking at here. So we've got a whole bunch of whites, a couple of reds, a few greens here, a couple purples, a couple blues, and a couple yellows. So yeah, we've got 6 different dice types here. So that would have been a bit more expensive in order to produce, but the detail's not bad. Oh wait, these are, that's weird. So they've got partial engraving. So like this little snowflake side's actually engraved. Oh, some of the minis can get deformed. Yeah, that's common. That's common. We're really hoping to avoid that with ours. But so this side's engraved. The actual snowflake here is engraved. but not everything is. So, or not as deeply engraved if it is. So maybe it's just laser etched. It's hard to say, but it's kind of interesting regardless. Quite a few dice there. Next up, we've got some sealed packs here. Looks like we've got our traps. We've also got our gear, our armies, and looks like equipment. Yeah, I would say that's equipment. So we have a decent amount going on right there. I like that they pre-sorted the cards into types. You would be surprised, well, you're probably not if you're watching this, how many games don't do that. And it doesn't look like there's anything important under there. Nope, just a little insert, probably a box stabilizer. This is a little bit of a heavier game, so sometimes you need that. And last but not least, we have this, which I'm imagining is their map tiles. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a lot of map tiles. So I'll pop this open quick just to get a feel for this. Looks like they're using about 1.5 to 2 millimeter thick chipboard. So pretty standard thickness on that. And if we dig in here, we've got our acid bath, we've got our caltrops, various crossroads. I noticed that these are also used for laying out the various maps. So they're not just the traps, they're also just general map, lava lake, rift, teleporter. They've got a lot of the text written on these that explain what you do with them and how you play with them, which I appreciate. Don't quite know what the star symbol up here is for, but I'm imagining that's going to be important, or it's because it's special in some way. But yeah, these are really solid. I don't feel like I'm going to bend them just playing with them. Also, being square, they're going to hook together really smoothly, and the art actually flows across them, which is always appreciated. It seems odd, but that's a nice touch. So, that's basically everything you get in a copy of Defense Grid, the board game. It's a little bit less funny enough than I was expecting. I was expecting a bit more chipboard tokens for some reason, so maybe a couple more sheets like this. But it looks like they've mostly got this covered with cards and dice and everything else, so that should be good. Oh, sorry, yeah, you can't post links in our chat. But that's it for the opening. Thank you very much for joining. This video, for those on YouTube, will be up shortly after I'd recorded it.